So is Tantra only for spiritual weirdos? Which is a question that I've asked myself over the years because I don't consider myself a spiritual weirdo. I don't know, whatever that means for you, but for me it means like, these like shanty people and they like do all this weird stuff, and I've always considered myself like a normal person. I'm not part of the matrix or anything, but I'm kind of like grounded and down to earth. I'm a Scorpio, and I need things to make sense and to be like grounded in reality. So I don't get lost so much in cuckoo world, which is fine. I don't judge people who do, but I don't. And then on the other hand, I'm very into like tantric meditations and practices, and I don't really think they necessarily have to go together. You don't have to be like a hippie to be interested in Tantra. So anyway, these are the kind of thoughts that I have in my head when thinking about like doing the channel or doing videos on the subject. So I did a little bit of research on YouTube, and I'm like looking at stuff to do with Tantra, and that I'm sure a lot of them are amazing people who pass on amazing information, but I don't necessarily connect to that kind of vibe. And I think a lot of people are like me, and they kind of need something grounded and down to earth. And I think that's why a lot of people have not been exposed to Tantra. And a lot of people think it's like this weird spiritual Kama Sutra sexual thing from the East. And a lot of other people think it's like hippie, weird stuff that I don't really want to get into. But then there's like me. I live in a city in a Western modern world. I'm not very like spiritually hippie style, although I'm out of the matrix, but still I'm kind of like a grounded person, and I do practice and talk about tantric meditation and practices with the energy, including the sexual energy. And a friend of mine, and we were talking the other day about like, how come no one has been interviewed with like Joe Rogan about harnessing our sexual energy? Like, how come no one's talking about it? They talk about the ice baths, and they talk about all these different diets and supplements and psychedelics and all these things, that help people connect and heal. But no one's talking about harnessing or working with the sexual energy. Why? When I talk about sexual energy, I mean like our life energy, our life force, thing that makes us alive. How come no one's talking about doing meditations with that sexual energy, with life energy, and harnessing it to do good and to heal, instead of wasting it on casual, emotionless sexual activities and pornography and masturbations? Like, why isn't anyone talking about how you can actually harness the sexual energy in order to heal your inner child, in order to reconnect to your life force and your life energy and to God, and to be a happier, healthier, more balanced person in the world? Like, why isn't anyone talking about it? And I think it's because, first of all, if everyone starts reconnecting to their sexual energy and life force, we're going to become stronger and maybe more independent. And maybe like the people who rule the capitalistic world and Western society don't want us to reconnect to our life force and our life energy, because that way they can keep us in this like modern like slavery. So they kind of censor anything that has to do with Tantra. They make it look like hippie crazy stuff. Anything to do with sex is like pornography or sexual violence issues. No one's talking about working with the sexual energy. It makes you a pervert or a weirdo or hippie, or so they're like tarnishing this whole school of thought that says our sexual energy is our life energy. It's our life force. It creates new life. It's our second chakra. It's the most powerful energy in the world. Why are we not connected to it? Why are we not harnessing it? Why? And I don't really have a good answer. know, besides the ones that I just gave. Maybe, I don't know, people are scared of it. And anyway, I think there's a reason they don't want us to know this stuff. There's a reason they don't want us to do these practices. And it's a free world. I do use these practices and meditations, and I do work with my sexual energy and life force, and I teach other people how to do it. And I believe that it is one of the things that can help us reconnect to our soul, to source energy, to our power, give us the independence, the emotional independence we're looking for, help us feel fulfilled and happier in life, and being more present and just enjoy this whole experience that's called life a lot more. And that's what I want to talk about in this channel, and that's the thing that I care about and I'm interested in the most. And ever since the beginning of my journey, I've been trying to translate this world, this practice, this thing called Tantra, to people who are more like me and kind of need the information and need it to be grounded and need it to sound normal and sane and need it to be practical and need to actually feel that it's doing something instead of just being in this like la land of bliss and happiness and kumbaya. Because I don't really connect to that style. I have nothing against it. It's just not my personal taste. And because I'm that way, I like translating it to people who are like that. So this is my channel. If you like this video, please subscribe and like, and I'll upload more. And thank you for listening and being with me. And I will give in the future like more practices and talk about more practical things to do with Tantra.